Hello everybody, Sean here, and we're looking at the Lost Sinner boss in Dark Souls 2, and this guy, very aggressive. So there's three strategies to this guy, and one little thing I will point out. If you beat the gargoyles beforehand on top of the bell tower, you will have got the Bastille key. You can use it to open doors just outside the battle arena here, one on the left, one on the right. They're at the top of those staircases. Go inside there with your torch lit, and you can actually light torches that will light up this battle arena where you fight the sinner. One of the mechanics of this fight is that because it's so dark, if the sinner gets too far away from you, you lose your auto lock-on. So if it's lit up, the lock-on will stay at a much greater distance. Now, the sinner himself, very aggressive, hits very hard. As you can see, one hit took me down below half health. So, couple things to keep in mind. If you're a ranged character, he has a lot of gap closers. He has a very big reach for one thing, but he has some lunges and some jumps he can do to close gaps. So mages and people who might use archery or items gonna have a tough time. You're gonna have to wait for the right openings, be very evasive, hopefully have 100% block shield, but otherwise, just be extremely evasive and wait for the very few times where he does, like that attack right there is one of the few times, slams the sword on the ground and he does pause for a brief second or two, where you could get a shot and maybe two if you're very lucky and you have quick spell casting. Otherwise, if you're a melee character, you're going to want to get right in his face, and there's three real ways to go about that. One is what I kind of mentioned before, is dress lightly and just be extremely evasive and use a quick weapon. So you can just dodge circles around his attacks, hopefully not get hit at all. Obviously, if you're in light armor, even one hit's probably going to be enough to take you out of the fight. And poke at him with a weaker weapon. He doesn't have a ton of health. I mean, it's a fair bit, but there are bosses with quite a bit more health. He doesn't have a ton, and if you do have an enchanted weapon, or he's also a little weak to fire. I found fire and magic did a little extra damage. Lightning and the other couple elements I was unable to try. He is a humanoid creature. He might actually take bonus damage from poison, but at this point in the game, I personally did not have any poison weapons or effects that I could employ. The second option for facing this guy is what you're seeing me do, is I went for as much poise as I could get and 100% block shield, and I got right up in his face. All the extra poise let me block all of his attacks without getting staggered or pushed back too much, and my stamina was high enough where I could just kind of tank through it, take the hit, hopefully avoid one or two so that I still had some stamina left over to swing. And then of course you do want to be careful that you don't use up all your stamina. Even if right here, so you see me swing, I only swing once. Could have swung twice, but I would have been out of stamina. So that's always a key thing to remember, is never swing to the point where you're out of stamina. Make sure you always have enough for an emergency shield block or a dodge. The third option is in fact to parry his attacks. It can be done, but it is quite difficult. And if you miss the parry, you are going to take a greatsword to the face. So that is only something for the most confident of parriers out there. And again, if you are a mage or a ranged character in general, just keep in mind he has a bunch of gap closers. You need to be very evasive and have hopefully 100% block shield on, just in case you do have to take a hit. There is also a phantom you can summon much earlier in the path towards this fight. She's behind the elevator. You come down very far back. Can be helpful in the fight, but just getting her to the fight is a pain in itself. So really the fight comes down to you. But I hope this gives you some ideas on how to beat the Lost Sinner. I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.